1.2, adding integers. When we add integers, there are three methods that we use: the number line, good guys versus bad guys, and absolute value. When we use the number line, we're going to move in the direction of the integer, and where we end up is going to be our answer. So for this first problem, we have 4 plus a negative 4. So what we're going to do is we're going to move in the positive 4 direction first. We're going to start at 0 and move positive 4. Now it says we want to add a negative 4. So we're going to move 4 in the direction to the left, right? Negative 4. And where we end up is our answer. So our answer is 0. Okay, let's try this one here. We're going to start at 0 and move a negative 1. So we're going to move one space in negative. And now we're going to add a negative 3. So we're going to pick up where we left off, and we're going to move 3 spaces in the negative direction. 1, 2, 3. And where we end up is our answer. So our answer is negative 4. Now on this last one, we start at 0, and it says here negative 2. So we're going to move 2 spaces in the negative direction. And now we need to add a positive 6. So picking up where we left off, we're going to move 6 spaces in the positive direction. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And where we end up is our answer. So our answer to this one is 4. All right, the other method we use is good guys versus bad guys. And in this method, our positive values are good guys and our negative values are bad guys. Our good guys we represent with a G, and our bad guys we represent with a B. All right, so if we have the problem 5 plus a negative 3, we know that we have 5 bad guys. Okay, and then we have a negative 3. We know negatives are bad guys, so we have 3 bad guys. And when these two groups get together, they want to fight. So a good guy's going to fight that bad guy, that one's going to fight that one, and that one's going to fight that one, right? And what we have left, just 2 good guys, the ones that aren't fighting, that's our answer. What do we have left? 2 good guys. And we know good guys are positive, so our answer is 2. All right, let's try this one here. We have 1 bad guy, so it's a negative 1. We have a negative 2, that means we have 2 bad guys, right? So now we are going to see how many are fighting. They're not fighting with anyone. So what we have left is our answer. What do we have left? We have 3 Bs, 3 bad guys. And we know bad guys are negative. So our answer is negative 3. Now let's look at this one, negative 7 plus 2. That means we have 7 bad guys. And how many good guys do we have? We have 2 good guys, right? We know that when they get together, they want to fight. So those 2 are going to fight. And what we have left over is our answer. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bad guys, right? Negative 7 plus 2 is a negative 5. All right, now it is time for you to take a brief pause and to write in your notes. You need to identify the 3 ways to add integers, and then write some notes on using the number line and good guys versus bad guys. All right, the final way that we use to add integers is using the absolute value. When we're going to use the absolute value, the first thing we want to do is to look to see what kind of signs our integers have. Okay, so in this case here, we see that both of these are positive. Positive 2 plus positive 5. When their signs are the same, we add. Okay? So we're going to take their absolute values and we're going to add their absolute values. And we're going to keep the original sign. What's the original sign in this case? It's a positive. Both of them are positive. Absolute value of 2 is 2. Absolute value of 5 is 5. We're going to add those, which is a 7. And we're keeping the original sign, positive. So our answer is a positive 7. Now over here, we have a negative 2 plus a negative 7, right? These both have the same sign. We have a negative and a negative. So we know that we're going to add. But the first step is to find the absolute value. See, both of these are negative. First step is to add the absolute values of both of these. So the absolute value of negative 2 is 2. Absolute value of negative 7 is 7. We're going to add them. That is a 9. But we need to keep the original sign. And our original sign is negative. So the answer is negative 9. Right? Thinking back really quick to good guys, bad guys. These are all bad guys. So we know that their answer has to be bad guys as well. Okay. The other situation we have then is when our integers have different signs. So in this case here, we have a positive 2 plus a negative 5. Okay, so the first thing we know is that when we have different signs, we're going to want to subtract. Remember, same signs add, different signs subtract. So the first step is to find the absolute value of each integer. Okay, absolute value of 2 is 2. Absolute value of negative 5 is 5. Now, this next step, we're going to compare these two numbers. Which one's bigger? This 5 is bigger. So we're going to circle it up here, like this. Okay? What sign does it have up here in our original problem? It has a negative. Okay. That tells us that we know our answer is going to have to be negative. Okay? So first step, find the absolute value of each one. Circle the larger one. Now the third step is to subtract these two. 5 minus 2 is 3. Okay, find the absolute values, circle the bigger one, make note of the sign, subtract, and the final step is you have to use the sign that you circled. We circled a negative, so our answer is negative 3. Okay, let's look at this one. First step, find the absolute value. Second step, circle the larger one and make note of the sign. What's the sign? It's negative. Okay. Third step is to subtract them. 8 minus 3 is 5. And the last step is to use the sign that you circled. Negative. So our answer is negative 5. All right. You may want to write these down, and you will also have some questions on it in your notes. So you will have it in 2 different places if you want. All right. So write in your notes about how to use absolute value for adding integers. There's a section for using same sign and different sign. And if you need to, go back in our video and get those specific steps. All right, now that we've done that, we have 5 practice problems. And with these practice problems, you can use any method you feel comfortable using. Okay? But you must show your work. All right, I'll give you a hint on a few of them. I'm going to use the number line for number 1 and 2. You do not need to. I just wanted to show you how you would go about this. So for practice problem number 1, I'm going to walk you through it, and then you'll be able to do the same thing for practice problem number 2 if you want to use the number line for that one. So for this one, remember we start at 0. We're going to move positive 4, or 4 in the positive direction. Now we're going to add a negative 5. That means we have to start where we left off and move 5 in the negative direction. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Where we end up is our answer. So our answer is negative 1. And if you were to use the number line for this one, this is the work you would show to get full credit. Okay, so you can do the same thing for practice problem number 2 if you want to use the number line for that one as well. Okay, practice problems 3 and 4. My slide's a little off here. This one, you can use either one. For this first one, I am going to use good guys versus bad guys, right? Remembering that our negatives are bad guys and our positives are good guys. How many bad guys? And how many bad guys? Do we have anybody that's going to fight? We don't. So we have this as all the ones that are left over. So our final answer is what? And then for this one, practice problem number 4, you can do the same thing. And then for practice problem number 5, you could try using your absolute value method. All right, for this one, are our signs the same or different? They're different. If they're different, that means we have to, what? Subtract. Okay, first step, absolute value. Okay, what's the absolute value of negative 3? 3. What's the absolute value of 7? 7. Okay, second step, circle the bigger one. And make note of the sign. What sign is it? It's positive. Okay, third step. There are different signs. We know we have to subtract. So 7 minus 3 is what? 4. And the final step, we take our original sign and use that. So our answer is, you got it, 4, positive 4. All right. That is the end of 1.2.